Hi, everybody. It's Sarah Gallagher from Widowed Single Parenting. You're not alone. I'm here again on a Wednesday evening to give you another wonderful idea how to go forward in your life, giving you actionable steps to make yourself go forward, knowing that you are not the only person in your life. Now, if you're not familiar with me, or this is your first time here, my name is Sarah Gallagher. I am a widow coach. I've been a widow for 7 years. I have a 10-year-old kid. I have a 5-year-old daughter. And I've been coaching for 4 years, trying to help those who understood what it's like to be a widow and figure out how to be the solo parent as you're grieving without losing your mind. Now, we try very hard every Wednesday to have a live for you with actionable ideas of how to go forward. And today we are very, very, very blessed to have Leslie here. Uh, uh, she's like the hot mess mom who's here to help us figure out how to time management. Because we all know this is a huge problem. It's only you. You only have so much time in your life, and how to divvy that up to understand what to do with it can be extremely exhausting, and it can take more stress and time out of your life trying to figure that out. So if you can figure that out very quickly, this is why I invited Leslie here, because she's an amazing coach. She's had a experience, 2 decades of experience dealing with like stressful life, and then like
Yeah.
and then another 2 years to figure out how to make sure that how to have more of a love life together.
Yes. Yeah.
All right, Leslie, why don't you tell us why you're here, what your background is, so we can learn more about you.
Right. Thanks, Sarah. Okay, so my name is Leslie. I am that hot mess mama because let's face it, we're all a little bit of a hot mess, but that can also be a good thing. And yeah, time management is one of the things when it comes to stress management that I do, because growing up, I was living under very stressful conditions. There were a lot of high expectations, shall we say. I was the oldest. I did a lot of babysitting, and there was this heavy emphasis on academics. And I'm not a very math and science person, so there were some struggles there, and just a lot of stress going through school, a lot of stress figuring out who am I. I had some extenuating circumstances we found out later on where my hormones weren't on the level. So that contributed to a lot of stress in my life. I felt ways I shouldn't. I gained weight where I shouldn't. And when it became time that I became a mom, those issues inserted themselves into the pregnancies and the deliveries and all that fun stuff. So stress was just this massive part of my life that I was always aware of, but I figured, oh, this is just how it is. And I couldn't figure out, why I was grumpy or moody or exhausted all the time. And it really had to do with trying to live up to other people's expectations and, be who they thought I should be instead of being who I wanted to be or who I really was. And a few years ago, I actually had an incident that landed me in hospital, and it took me quite a fair amount of time to heal from it. And I needed help because my kids were, one wasn't even a year old. He was mobile, but not independently. And my other one was just 4. So if you can imagine, boys at that age, they have a ton of energy. And here I am healing from surgery. And I had to learn it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to take time for myself. It's okay to heal. It's okay to not be doing 110% every single day. And even though it was really painful mentally and physically at first, it actually led me down the path of healing. And I realized I'm worth it. My family is worth it, because when I got rid of a lot of the stress or minimized it, when I started looking after myself, I was able to give my best self to them. And I was able to give my best self to people around me. I had, more time for conversation with other people. I had more energy to run around with my kids, which was a huge one. I felt better. And because I felt better, I felt like I looked better. My confidence grew. And I felt amazing. And then being a mom And at that time, I was interested in starting my own business, and being a wife and still trying to live a life, the time management thing came in. And one of the big things I was hearing was, there's never enough time in a day. I can't get all this stuff in. And I had a lot of things I wanted to do for myself. I wanted to get back, into fitness and being fit. And I still wanted to have time for my boys. And one of them was going to be starting school soon. So I knew I'd have to navigate his schedule. And my husband had his own schedule. So I was dealing with multiple schedules and still trying to run a life. And it was like, how can I do this and still have time for myself and not overwhelm myself? So I came up with a time management module and just started doing that and making things non-negotiable and prioritizing. And because of that and the self-care, I had to learn how to set boundaries and tell people like yes or no, or this isn't going to work like this, or I'm not taking time out for myself for that. And just getting comfortable with no. And those three things came together, and I created Your StressLess Life, which is a big thing that I live by. I do all three things every day now, and it's what I teach because I remember how I felt overwhelmed and stressed and moody and not happy and exhausted. And I see that. And this pandemic as well, like stress is just something we've come to normalize and live with, and we don't see a way out. And the last 2 years have really kind of cemented us, feeling alone and having to think that we have to do this all alone by ourselves. And we don't. There's ways out, and there's ways to reach out. And time management is one of those ways to kind of feel like you're more in control of your life.
That is amazing. I love this. I thought I was, oh yeah, no, absolutely. There is going to be a replay. Absolutely. Take your kids to bed. Make sure they're okay. Lauren Cargill says she loves this. So you've obviously touched on a lot of the things that we've been like talking about too, right? How to make sure that you're okay, and how to make sure that you have time management for yourself, but also the self-care, and knowing how the boundaries work for yourself, because that all kind of works together, right? You have to make sure that you're okay. You have time manage. And one of the things you mentioned to me recently too is the fact that when you time manage, it's very important that you take time for yourself.
Of course, yes, that is a must.
Why?
Why? Oh, why? Because if you don't take time for yourself, you're just doing everything for everybody else, and you're going to be exhausted. Eventually, you might just start moody, but you're going to actually start to get a little bit resentful because you're going to feel like I'm doing everything for everyone else. How come, nobody can give me a break, or how come there's no time for me? Your self-care goes down the drain. And I know this personally, like you just stop looking after yourself, thinking like, oh, I'll do it later. I'll do it later. I'll do it later. Or, oh, there's just never enough time. And you spiral back. You get back to feeling stressed. You get back to feeling not great about everything. So, and then you don't have energy, for yourself. You don't have energy to put your best self forward for, your family, your kids, friends, whatever else is going on in your life, your business, your clients. So it's got to start from you. And it's absolutely not selfish at all, because you're affecting all these other elements of your life. But you got to look after you. You got to protect you and your energy. And so, yes, absolutely. With time management, make time for you, please.
Well, then how do you figure that out? Like, if you only have so much time in the day, right? And you are a single parent, or you're a single parent, and you're trying to take care of you, you're trying to take care of your 2 kids, or 3 kids, or 5 kids, or 1 kid, or whatever. You have kids.
Yes.
All those other things in the world too, right? You have to be a mom. You have to be their advocate. You have to be their homework expert. You have to be picking them up before and after, and make sure they're going for their activities, because they're obviously very important to you. And then you have to come home. You have to do the dishes, and you have to do the dinner, and you have to do all that. How would you say, if you walk away from this thing, what would be the 3 most important things you have to figure out about time management if you were going to go forward?
So what I would say, the first one is, what can you prioritize? What are the 3 things that are priorities, have to get done that day or if they're really, really big ones that week. Do not overwhelm yourself. They're regular life stuff, looking after kids and everything. Yes, that's part of the all day, every day, but take 3 things off your to-do list in your life, in your business, personal, professional, whatever it is, and prioritize those 3. You can write them out the night before, the week before, but just focus on those things. Everything else can wait. Once you get them checked off, move on to the next things. Like, what can you prioritize in a day? But keep it bite-sized, keep it simple, and that way you can just laser focus on that. So if you have a to-do list of 21 items over the next month, break it down to 3. What can you start with? What needs attention right now? What can wait? The next thing I can suggest is, what is your most productive time of day? Everyone's got a time when they kind of feel the best. And can you use that time, in its entire, like to the best of your ability? I'm a morning person. I wake up quite early in the morning, especially in the summertime. I have my time to myself before my kids even wake up. And that's when I do a lot of my self-care time, because if I don't do it then, it's not going to get done. And I'm very productive through the mornings. I like to do a lot of, like if it's business stuff, I'll do it in the mornings, client calls, if I can get them done in the mornings, or, very early afternoon. And that's my time. But I know that other people are more like an afternoon, or they might be an evening. Maybe you're a night owl. You get the most done at night after your kids go to bed. So recognize when in a day is your most productive time, when you feel the best, you're the most energetic, maybe you're the most inspired. And if it's a time that you can work with, like there's nothing else going on, great. And if it's not, ask yourself, is there a way I can make it? And just go from there. The third thing would be, how can I maximize, or how can you maximize your time? So let's say with housework, everyone's favorite thing to hate, what are some things that you can kind of chunk together? So for instance, one of the things I like doing is, if I have laundry, dishes, and some tidying up, I will start my laundry load in the washer, because I know that's going to run for at least 45 minutes or more, depending. I have a very old washer. And then I will start the dishwasher. So I'll get all the dishes ready and loaded up in the dishwasher and get that started. Now I have the washing machine, or the clothes washer going and the dishwasher going. I know those are going to be going for quite some time. So I'll do my tidying up, and then maybe the dishwasher's done by that point. It's drying, it's doing its thing. The clothes washer is done. I swap everything over into the dryer. Now I know that's going to run for at least an hour or so. And if I only have a 2-hour chunk of time for cleaning up, I know I can get those 3 things at least done. And I've made the most of that time. I'm not loading up the washer, the clothes washer, and then waiting for that cycle to finish before moving on to the next thing. Same thing with maybe your commute, whether you're driving or carpooling, or maybe you take public transit. Is there an audiobook you can listen to, or a podcast that you've been, waiting to listen to? Make the most of that time. So it's just about trying to find your most productive time in a day. How can you chunk your time, chunk things together, and just make the most of your time. And then prioritize. Don't try to get 10 things done in a day, over and above what you already do. Try to break it down to 3.
That is absolutely amazing. I am so enraptured about what we're talking about, because it's so true on so many different levels. That you have to really, you're talking about is taking your time and owning it, right?
Yes.
Instead of letting it take over you, you are more saying, okay, no. I have so much time in the day. What's important to me, right? What am I going to prioritize? Whatever here that, and I think something else is the idea that you have to have anything you put into energy into, you have to make sure you get back too,
Exactly.
right? And that's why you have to kind of prioritize how to do that for your day. So you can do what you have to get done, but at the same time, you can reconnect and go, oh, okay, now what? Right? How do you do
Exactly.
next? Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Leslie, I would love you to tell me very briefly. You have the three different pillars in your even program right now, right?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Okay, so there's
Yeah.
it's tell me briefly about that. Like how who do you help and why is this important?
Okay. So I help moms, whether it's moms in business, moms working a day job or shift work, just moms because we're busy and we tend to carry a lot of stress with us. It's just, we're always looking out for everybody else. So, this program that I do, it's a 3-month program. There are 3 modules, time management being one of them, self-care and building self-confidence, and setting healthy boundaries. And each module is about a month long. So it's the 3 months in total. And it comes with coaching and accountability calls. It's one-on-one, you and me. We talk, we plan, we see what's working, what isn't. It's very customized to your situation because we all have different situations. And it's just about building the strongest foundation possible in order to help you take on stress, daily stress, big stress, give you the tools so that when a stressful situation arises, it's not going to completely knock you back for a day or a week or a month. It'll be like, oh, hey, I know how to deal with this. Dig into my stress management toolbox and let's do this. Um, what I really love about this program, because overwhelm was something I was dealing with regularly, is I'm not heaping a whole bunch of new things for you to do and to try on top of everything else that you have to do. It's about removing the things that don't work for you anymore, or maybe they never did, and just getting rid of them and setting new, healthy, usable habits and rituals and routines and ideas for you. So if you already have 50 things to think about in a day, I'm not going to add 10 more. I'm going to see which of those 50 aren't working for you and bring in the 10 that will, so that you can still stay around 50, or maybe we can drop you around 45 or even 40. So it's just about making your life easier, basically, so that you have less stress to kind of feel. And then even when their stress does arise, you're going to feel confident and ready to be able to say, nah, I got this. Stress isn't getting me today.
Oh my god. Oh my god. That was seriously so beautiful. That was like I was so from the heart. I can feel the passion that you have for this. This is like something that sounds to me. This is something you know and you've been dealing with, and this has been why you push this to be your thing, right?
It is.
You've
Yeah. I'm
been
I'm
there.
very passionate. I'm so upset when I hear, like, I'm like, not upset, but like sad when I hear like people stressed, or like, they're like, oh, I feel like I don't have enough time in a day. And I'm like, please let me help you. Like, I've been there. There is a way out. Like, yeah, it's like literally my entire 20s, and now how I feel now, like I'm a completely different person. And I've even had people that haven't seen me for the years, and they're like, oh my God, like you haven't, like, you look so much different. And I'm just like, yes.
That's
And I just love, like,
amazing.
I have more energy now than I did a decade ago. Like, I'm chasing after my kids, and they're energetic boys, and I can chase after them, and I can take my karate classes. Whereas like
Oh my god, Ronnie.
8, 9 years ago, it wasn't gonna happen. It'd be like, oh, mommy needs a break, hold on a moment. So
Well, I think that's also actually a thing that actually occurred a lot in like grief too, right? Because when you became so overwhelmed with everything, there's a
yeah.
feeling that there's this big everything's kind of overtaking me. I have to take care of this and that and everything else, and I don't have time for me anymore. And you've been
Yeah.
through there. You've
I have.
obviously seen that type of situation. I'm like, this is overwhelming, and how that's where you are before now. Look at you now. You are so glowing and you're so happy and you're so like motivated to help other people.
Yes, I do get quite passionate about it, but yeah, it's true. Like, I don't ever want to see somebody, get to like where I had been, or feel that way and just feel, trapped in that, because I know there's a way out now. And I just wish I could go back, 10 years ago and tell myself it's going to be okay. So if I can help people like not have to take 10 years to figure it out, that would just make my day.
Oh, I absolutely feel that. That's amazing. Okay, so if anybody wants to be able to take advantage of you and to watch watch more for you or get more from you, what would be the best way to get in touch with you?
So I am on Facebook, and I do try to post about this stuff as often as I can. I do offer free calls, like whether you want to sign up or not. There's absolutely no obligation, but it's what I call it, a coffee chat. It's like, let's get to know each other, tell me what's going on. And then we can kind of go from there. But those are kind of the best ways to kind of get to know me a little bit more, and what I do. And then I'd love to connect with you as well in any way.
Love it. This has been honestly so important. So important, because what you are bringing to the table is something that can actually help so many people. And I love that about this. And the whole entire reason we're all here is to help other people, right? You serve. You make sure that you feel where they've been. You want to help them get better. You get them to the point. And you can feel that in what you're saying.
Thank you. I'm glad it's coming through. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, time is something, it's so easy to have it slip through, or feel like it's controlling us, but we can get control back. Absolutely. And I feel like I figured out how to do that. So I'd love to share.
All right, I'm going to put up again one of the banners I put up before. It says comment schedule to get a copy of the list. So if any of you actually would be important to you to understand what the list is and get a copy of it yourself, comment #schedule. We'd love to get that to you. The other thing I want to say is, if you ever want to get in touch with Alissa, please DM me. I will get you directly to her. You can obviously go to her website as well. Leslie, what's your website?
My website is yourstresslesslife.com/website.
I love it. You guys are awesome. I hope all of you have had a great time. I hope you've learned something. I know I have. Leslie, you've been amazing.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for inviting me to the show. I enjoyed it.
Good. And I hope to talk to you soon. Okay?
Absolutely. I'd love to.
Excellent. Bye, sweetheart.